This week is going to be insane. We got earnings coming out, we got more things, and we got some decent news. But we're going to talk about the overall week, and we're going to talk about the news that's going on, and we're going to talk about the overall market and some price levels to look at. First off, let's look at some of the percentages last week. Stock market looked pretty green last week. We had Nvidia up almost 5%. We did have a little die down of Nvidia towards the ending of the week, though. Broadcom, we got up 4%, 3%, 2% on Google, Meta 3%. And some other stocks that look pretty decent. So last week, I think the biggest news that we got is that $500 billion deal. And hopefully we get some good news about that this week and maybe later on. And we also got earnings season coming out for some big stocks. So I'm very, very pumped up to announce everything. But before we start, I want to say that we got a little article on Tesla that I'm going to read quickly. Not read, but just go through. So basically, Tesla had a decent 65% with the basically the election, and then now we've been kind of like slowing down because of the trends of the rollback or all the EV policies is basically giving people fear. But if we look down a little bit more, we got some. Despite the recent dip, analysts remain confident in the company heading into its critical fourth quarter earnings report. I think we're going to look pretty decent with the earnings report. We might see either Tesla go up a lot or go down a lot. So just keep that in mind. We got some more tariffs on visa restrictions on Colombia. So keep that in mind. Sorry. So basically, fear and greed index, I wanted to pull this up. We're basically neutral right now. With that being said, if we go down a little bit more, we got some stocks being at extreme fear. And then I also want to go down a little bit more and look at put and call options with extreme greed. Put and call options. I normally do call options myself, or not call it, but options myself. I just want to show that to you guys. If you guys do want to do some option plays, I think we did look at this on Friday, but we're going to look at it one more time. The earnings report. So we got SoFi, maybe AT&T. I'm looking at both of these for Monday. Tuesday, I'm looking at Boeing. Of course, Starbucks. You can get some decent gains with Starbucks, Logitech, and I think that's what I'm mainly looking for. Maybe Lockheed Martin too. I'm looking at Lockheed Martin and Boeing. On Wednesday, of course, we got Tesla. So be very careful before you guys invest. If you guys are holding long term, I recommend waiting and just seeing how Tesla really moves. We got Meta, Microsoft. I think we can get some good numbers with Meta, good numbers with Microsoft. Tesla, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Is either going to go up or go down, depending on how everything looks. Also, T-Mobile can be decent. And then on Thursday, of course, Apple. I really want to see how Apple moves. We've been moving in the downward trend with Apple, but we've been looking pretty. It's been kind of bouncing back. It's been trying to come back. Right now, we're at 222. We bounced off that 220 or 219 level, I think, last week, and then we went up. I think we seen like 226 in one day, and then it went back down to 222. So I really want to see how Apple really looks. We might either see it go down more or finally break past that bearish trend. Another one is Intel. Intel hasn't really been moving decently, but we did see a decent move with I think it was just something about a new CEO, but I'm not sure if it's verified yet. So I really want to look at that one. And then on Friday, I'm definitely going to look at the gas stocks and the energy sector. So keep that in mind for the earnings call. You guys can screenshot this real quick, and then we'll move on to the charts. Hopefully you guys get that screenshot. So this is a penny stock that I was looking at, FOXO. We got a video on it if you guys want to go watch it. But we're going to be looking at Tesla first. Sorry, my chart's kind of messy, but zoom in a little bit. We're going to look at it from the 4-hour time frame, see how it's been moving. So kind of bearish in the 4-hour time frame, but it's not too terrible. We've been bouncing up and down. We've seen some highs for last week of like 436. So keep that in mind. But with that being said, I think going up to the earnings, we're going to be seeing it maybe either people selling off or going up, because we've seen analysts are pretty confident with it. So we might see the stock up to like 420 to 425 and maybe even 430, and maybe even getting that 440 level before the earnings, and then seeing how earnings look. We might see a little dip and then go up, or see a buy and then sell. So keep that in mind. I think if we go to the upside with earnings, we can probably see 440 or even that 460 level if we get some good earnings, and then maybe fuel it up even more, make it look bullish. And then if we see it selling off, we might even see it break that 405, of course, 400, 395, and then maybe even down to that 392, maybe down to 380. But just keep that in mind for the earnings. We do got Nvidia. We do got some decent news with Nvidia, but we did see it like go up bullish, and then kind of retest, and then once it didn't break that retest, we seen a big sell off. We kind of seen that in the past too. Like we went up, we tested the highs, and then it just had a big sell off. So keep that in mind. We might keep on going to the downside for a little bit more, maybe fill up some gaps, maybe go down to that 140 level. I think that might be our peak, or maybe even test that 139 and then break below that even more. But with that being said, I think we can maybe even see maybe like one more day where we fill a gap, maybe to that 140, and then we see it go back up, or we see it break that 140 and keep going down. So keep that in mind. We did have some decent gains with SPY. With that being said, we did even get almost that 610 level. I think we hit 610 for like a little bit, and then it sold off. But with that being said, we got 610 like during pre-market, which is insane, and then it sold off, and I think we seen a little buyback, and then it went off again. But with that being said, I think for SPY, we can maybe even see it maybe fill these gaps going down to the 605 level. And then depending on how earnings go, so maybe before like the major earnings, which I think is on Tuesday for like Meta and stuff like that, we're going to see it maybe go down to that 605. And depending on how Meta moves, we might see Meta go up. If Meta and Microsoft goes up, we can probably see it go back up to that 609 level, maybe that 610, maybe even hitting 612, depending on how they move. Especially if we get some good news with Tesla, we can probably even see 614. But with that being said, just watch it to the downside a little bit and then bounce back up, just depending on how earnings go. But if Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla doesn't look too good, we can probably even go all the way down to that 600 level, might even break below that. So keep that in mind, be very, very careful. And yeah, and Apple, as I said before, we've been falling like a consistent downward trend. With that being said, we're still meeting that downward trend. We just been up and down right now. Because honestly, I think it moves with the bad news, because it just consistently gets bad news. But recently, we've been looking decent. Okay, it's third in China. It got sued a few times, but I think with that being said, we see a bottom point at 219, like I said before. But with that being said, we might even see Apple go back, retest that 219 level, maybe test the 219 level, bounce up, and or break past that 219 level. And then after that, we'll probably get earnings, and then we'll see where it's going from there. Either go up, maybe go all the way up to that 230 level, or go down and maybe go down to that 218, 216 level. So keep that on your mind and on your radar. With that being said, I want to show you guys Meta, because Meta has been looking decently strong, making new higher highs on these ones. But then we have been bouncing down pretty far, but they're kind of higher lows. With that being said, if we can get some decent earnings with this one, we can probably see it 655, 660, and maybe even 670, and maybe even consistently going up, just how it's looking. We might see it like go up and then see it kind of doing what it's doing here, like slowly making new higher highs, but then falling down higher highs. So keep that on your mind. Just long term, you know, you'll see a couple days it's green, a couple days red, a couple days green. But if we do have bad earnings or something like that, and you see it start selling, we'll probably see it fall down a bunch for a couple of days, and then it might come up and then keep on falling, and then maybe start coming up again. With that being said, even if earnings is bad, you'll still see the stock maybe even reach these highs, but just later on in the later months. But keep that on your mind. I think we're gonna have a strong market, especially if we have strong earnings. We're gonna definitely have a strong market. But if we have bad earnings, it's just gonna push the market down even more. But what a lot of people are saying, that earnings can't really affect it too much anyway. Like with the way the stock market has been moving, we're not gonna see too bad earnings apparently. So keep that on your mind. I think the earnings is gonna be pretty decent, and we're gonna make some pretty decent plays. So with that being said, go watch some other videos. I'm going to be making a top 5 stock video to look at, or just top stocks to look at for this week, and also top option plays to look at for this week. Also join my Discord. I have some links in the description below for my Discord, and then some links in the description below for some stockbrokers and Coinbase, and you guys can get free stocks and free coins. And if you click that Coinbase link, you guys can have a chance to win 1 Bitcoin, which is currently worth $105,000. We're going to be talking more about Bitcoin and talking more about other stocks tomorrow after market closes or during market open, and just talking about the news that is going on during that too. So have those post notifications on. I try to make beneficial videos. Smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Good luck trading, guys, and let me know what you guys did on Monday.